Hamas terrorists committed mass murder on a horrific scale. Jewish families here and across the world are mourning the greatest loss of Jewish life in a single day since the Holocaust. This was no act of war against the army of an enemy. It was the slaughter of innocent people. It was an act of terror, calculated, pitiless brutality, compounded by a rain of rockets designed to kill and to terrify without mercy and without discrimination. We have learned of acts of violation and humiliation so grotesque they should be beyond imagination, but have been made reality by Hamas. They targeted young people at a music festival and hunted them down. They preyed on families, on children, on parents trying to protect their babies in what often proved to be their desperate final act. And Hamas celebrated. They wanted the world to see. They rejoiced in suffering and death. It is so difficult to contemplate, so confronting, but we cannot turn away from the truth. We must call these atrocities for what they are. We must condemn them together, and today this motion does just that. As hard as it is for any of us to bear, we know that it is hardest on Australia's Jewish community. Australia has the largest per capita Holocaust survivor population outside Israel. Our Jewish Australian community is made up of Holocaust survivors, their children and grandchildren. The branches of their family trees are heavy with loss and suffering, with acts of survival in the face of overwhelming odds. It is nearly 80 years since that darkest of chapters closed. Nearly 8 decades of the world saying, never again. It is shocking and wrong that in 2023, Jewish people are having to draw on their courage and resilience again. Enduring such loss, enduring the weight of not knowing, and for those with relatives who are missing, enduring the weight of hope. I want to repeat the message that I've given to all Jewish Australians since the outset. You are not alone. Your fellow Australians stand with you. This was not just an attack on Israel. This was an attack on Jewish people. Let us be clear. Hamas is an enemy, but not just of Israel. Hamas is an enemy of all peace-loving Palestinian people who are left to pay a devastating price for this terrorism. Hamas honours no faith. It serves no cause but terror. It is no better than any other group in history that has clung to the twisted belief that victory can be built on the blood of the innocent. In the words of President Joe Biden, Hamas does not stand for the Palestinian people's right to dignity and self-determination. Its stated purpose is the annihilation of the State of Israel and the murder of Jewish people. They use Palestinian civilians as human shields. Hamas offers nothing but terror and bloodshed with no regard to who pays the price. Just as Hamas stands in the way of the peaceful future for Israelis and Palestinians alike, they try to drive division in every peace-loving democratic society, and they seek to fan the embers of anti-Semitism. We cannot allow that. We will not allow that. I know I speak for every member of this House when I say that this kind of hateful prejudice has no place in Australia. The awful anti-Semitism chanted by some of the protesters at the Sydney Opera House is beyond offensive. It is a betrayal of our Australian values. We reject it and we condemn it. Our country is better than that, and our country is a better place because of our Jewish community. Our government is committed to keeping the community safe. The government is continuing to implement a strengths-based approach to build on the successes of Australia's cohesive and inclusive multicultural society. Those successes are considerable. As Australians, we should all take pride in what we have built together as an open-hearted, welcoming country driven by compassion and an instinctive sense of fairness. We showed it in 1948, when Australia played a role in the foundation of the modern state of Israel. It was a moment of light after the darkness of the Holocaust. On this side of the House, another source of pride is the fact that it was a Labor minister and future Labor leader, Doc Evatt, who was there at the heart of it all at the United Nations as President of the General Assembly. With Evatt presiding over the UN and supported by Prime Minister Ben Chifley, Australia was the first country to vote for Israel to be made a member. Through this motion today, our Parliament sends a message of sympathy and solidarity to the people of Israel after the attacks by Hamas, and to our own Jewish community. All of us and all Australians embrace you in this time of trauma. We cannot lighten the weight that is upon you, but we hold you in our hearts. And I commend the motion to the House.